All right. So I was supposed to do the intro to the series on yeah. You guys, so I haven't been too often up about it, but I got the podcast got put onto a radio network. So, but also, um, I got kicked out of my place. Um, yeah. So, of course, staying with my mom. No traditional keyboard warrior, but no basement. The level of fear and disappointment past 24 hours has been great. Not fear, for the, my family, fear for coworkers from Afghanistan. Um, as we all know, the Taliban do not care. From humanitarian organizations who are over there, they are already talking about how the Taliban are finding and they are executing. They are taking their revenge on former work. And I'm sure that, whoever does, I'm not saying everybody does, but whoever does watch CNN, watched Secretary of State make the biggest ass out of himself. And yes, it is true. Partners in Afghanistan did not want to work for a corrupt government, so they disappeared. But they really didn't disappear, did they? They were fighting. They just weren't fighting for the government. See, there's a big difference in Afghanistan, and I think this is something that people don't know, especially that before the Taliban became the actual non-loved government of Afghanistan from 96 to 2001, you had the Mujahideen. Okay, that's why they're known as Muj, is because of what they were before fighting the Soviets. Um, older veterans of Cold War know about this, and then some of the younger veterans who actually looked at history know about this. I don't believe that. Here's what I believe. All right, I believe that the soldiers left the post. They knew that the government was going to attack them. Okay, so they went back home. Now it's not like going back home here, where you go back home and you have a tearful reunion and oh, I love you. That's not how it works. Over there, they go back home, they grab rifles. They took whatever gear that they could and they took it home to their villages. Right now, with the Taliban throughout most of Afghanistan, the Taliban will be getting pushed back. The civil war is not over. Here's the funny part: the Taliban says the war in Afghanistan is over. Yeah, that may be true. You may have, as you call it, defeated the United States, but the Civil War is coming. It will be up to the commanders, to the regional commanders, whether or not you guys can establish a government that is unified. That this doesn't break out into sectarian violence like the Afghan civil war did, that allowed the Taliban to rise so quickly. I think a lot of people are disappointed that we're not getting allies back, that they are being killed. That they're being hunted down. So that is why I say, fuck you to Secretary of State Blinken. There could have been a directive or a friendly directive to the U.S. military. Hey, can we drop these guys off at Tajikistan? Can we drop these guys off in India? Can we drop these guys off in Guam? And there are, according to civil rights or human rights group, there is 100,000 Afghans waiting for special immigrant visas. And then to the people who are on these fucking YouTube polls, like, should we bring Afghanis in? And 76 say fucking no. You 70 fucking 6 are pieces of shit. Have you been outside the country? If you have been outside of the country, have you been in the military? If you've been in the military, did you deploy? Have you seen what other countries do to their people? Most importantly, knowing how the Taliban are, you're going to tell me that you are going to say, oh no, let's take them away. Let's not bring them in to this country. Let's not give these SIV applicants amnesty that they fucking deserve for being called traitors. I've got fucking coworkers who used to work for the fucking government, and they're over here. You don't think they're fucking worried about their people, their families over in Afghanistan? Huh? That they're not gonna fucking get out, that they're gonna be killed because they're associated with them. A lot of people are having a fucking hard time. You know, I think of many Marines who are feeling bad right now, feeling like shit. Because they were in Afghanistan. They teaching, rebuilding an army. But you know, you gotta wonder if that special forces team that was sent into Afghanistan isn't feeling like crap right now. You know, it's yeah, it's tough for everybody. It's tough for service members, it's tough for veterans. I was gonna start this show on a series about family, and use my family, but you know what? I can wait for next week. I can wait for next week. I can keep pushing it back if I need to. There are themes that I fight against with this podcast. All right. Bro vets, hero worship, and advocating for veterans to, get certain rights and privileges that they would in the military. And the reason why is because when you leave service, you're not the same. No one's the same when they leave service. There is a reason why there are veteran groups. There are a reason why, even amongst family, once we go home, once we continue our lives, that will gravitate around each other when we're veterans. It is depressing. Oh yeah, oh, shit. Especially with me. That's why I don't talk to my kids. But why I don't spend a lot of time. There's no need to. When they want to, they'll come talk to me. The way it is. I'm not too worried about it. And sorry for the grovelly voice. I woke up, put on my hat because I got bed hair. And I wanted to make this episode. I wanted to make this because, everyone's saying 3 weeks, 3 weeks. It's been more than 3 weeks that the Taliban's advanced so quickly. You can't just, here's the thing, you can't just hit Kandahar and call it, progression from there. No. Once we pulled out of Taliban country, that's pretty much when they were like, and yeah, it was a rapid advance. I'm not gonna lie, it was very rapid. What would we do? We don't do. We got another fucking Saigon going on right now. Oh, oh, yeah. That's my last favorite. Emotional issue. It really is. Um, you know, it's never easy. Never easy when you feel like the mission is I feel bad for the soldiers, the Marines, the sailors, the airmen, the Coast Guardsmen who was over Afghanistan to try to make a difference. And you got politicians who were like, okay, 2 decade long war. You got veterans who are like, okay, 2 decade long war. I'm not gonna lie, I was one of the people who wanted U.S. troops out of Iraq and Afghanistan. It was too long being in those countries, nation building. Um, and the sad part is veterans. We're the first ones to say, hey, instead of making a quick withdrawal, creating disorder and panic within the people. Can we? Can we make it enough? Space it out enough that we can provide support? And nope. Nope. And if you can't make parallels between what happened with Richard Nixon in Vietnam and Trump or Biden, I would say maybe Vietnam was so quick that you can't really make parallels. All right, Nixon was Biden. Because once Biden got the agreement that U.S. troops would not be harmed in Afghanistan as they withdraw, the Taliban started the siege. The Afghan government. Same thing with Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon finally gets the peace. North Vietnam will not attack U.S. military during the withdrawal. As we're withdrawing, embassy personnel and Vietnamese who were somewhat in the same position in helping us, North Vietnam attacked South Vietnam fell. The Afghan provisional government fell. That's a hard fact. That 20 fucking years that government fell. But unlike the talking heads, there is hope in Afghanistan. There is hope. People don't see. There is hope. The Taliban will get pushed back. Not for the government, but for the tribes. I don't think people understand. When we say commanders, there are militias. Every village, every region has its own militia. They will fight the Taliban. If they have not made peace and if they have not given up certain people, they will not make peace. They will fight to the end. They will watch their tribe just be massacred. But it won't be a massacre. It'll be everyone will die fighting. That's something that most people don't think about. Most people don't think about Afghanistan in regions. They think about Afghanistan in cities, provinces. That's not how you should look at it. Unfortunately, these militias are going to have to figure out how to form a government. If they're not going to form a national government, then at least resist the Taliban. and you can't. Because the Taliban's not going to look out for your children, best interests of your people. They're going to loot resources. They're going to try to have as many people, as many nations as they can, clear them the government. There's going to be no provisional government. It's going to be a Taliban-ran government again. There will be reprisals, but at the same time, there will be resistance to the Taliban. We will see that within the coming months. The only problem is who and where is it going to be done? Are they going to unify? Will this be like another Northern Alliance for women in 2001? Probably not. Because they don't have an incentive to make a united national government. Their incentive would be to kick the Taliban out of Afghanistan, or not Afghanistan, Kabul. Whatever militia is strong enough to do that. Can rule Afghanistan. And if people don't think that these tribes have it in them to do that, where we came up with the Northern Alliance in the first place, we were able to get two different warring tribes, get them together and go up against the Taliban. For 5 fucking years, these tribes have been fighting against the Taliban. Progress is slow because there was no Air Force. Well, guess what? We just gave the fucking Taliban an Air Force. So now what? Well, I think it's funny because that doesn't mean anything. They're gonna kill the fucking pilots. They're just gonna let those fucking jets rot. And if they decide to keep the Air Force running, well, that's cool and all, but you still got to train pilots. Maybe we should come to a decisive conclusion about Afghanistan. Afghanistan and Iraq's most veterans was partial. We went in there to help people, we trained up the military, but we knew that the government was corrupt. This is why on my Twitter and on my show, I talk about less U.S. intervention. Less U.S. intervention is better. I think we have to look at it like this. We are not saviors. We are not a punching bag. We're not the police. We are going off of a flawed doctrine that was done in World War I. and we kept it going. I think every country knows that if they need help, they can go to good old USA. We'll help them. We'll get them started. We'll do it our way. And then when we leave, they fall apart. So how do we curb this? What do we do to curb going into another country? Oh, we can't do it. Everyone knows that you can't do it. Question isn't that. The question is, what is mission accomplished? According to Anthony Blinken, mission accomplished, going in, dislodging the terrorists under the Taliban. Well, Secretary of State Blinken must not have been in politics before throwing in 2004 when Telegram was on television. So, we're not going to get rid of Al-Qaeda. And I think people fail to realize that the Taliban that went into Kabul today is not an Afghani Taliban. It's a Pakistani Taliban. Um, you know, a lot of people also knew that Pakistan was flying. Well, not Pakistan. Pakistani intelligence was helping out. The Taliban through the Haqqani network. And if you don't know what the Haqqani network is, can't remember his first name, but he was a Mujahideen guy. And he did not favor working with the West. He favored working with Osama bin Laden in the SIS, and he could get supplies through Khyber Pass, to the Afghans. That really wasn't helping Mujahideen during the Soviet days. I think most people who have looked into it have honestly said that when the CIA went in and said, "Here you go. Here's some surface to air missiles. Have fun." That helped with the hunting of the Mujahideen, allowed them to move in further. If no one knows, the Pakistan has a special tribal area. Or if you don't, still a special tribal place. That's where Pakistani Taliban and the Haqqani network um, reside. Um, They don't bother they don't bother Pakistan too much. And I think it's funny how Pakistan government fears a humanitarian wave coming over their border. You have that. You just can't place these people in a special area. You gotta actually put them in the city. Oh yeah, look at that. Ugh. That nigga. That nigga. You were doing that with the Taliban. Man, the Prime Minister Imran Khan doesn't see that. I mean, well, not so much that he doesn't see it. He just stays in power. He looks the other way. SIS exploits what they can. He has plausible deniability, like right now. And he can blame us for the Afghani people's troubles. You know, I was one of many who grew up during this war. Now, granted, it was only 4 years. This started when I was in high school. The Afghan war started when I was in high school. The Iraq war started when I was in high school. Um, I graduated high school in 2005. Tried to do college before the military. Didn't succeed. Wanted to join the National Guard. Didn't join there. Went to the Navy. First duty station was a small outpost. As everybody knows, in Bahrain. My paperwork says in support of Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom. You know what I was doing? Protecting ships. That's what I was doing. When they came in the harbor, we protected them. Trying to protect dumbass fucking Marines who got off the fucking ship. Whether amphibs or cruisers or destroyers or this is before aircraft carriers, so you know, I've watched growing men cry. I didn't think less of them. No reason to. They're emotional. They lost people on the battlefield. I watched grown women cry. Again, I didn't tell them to, you know, ovary up. They lost people out in Afghanistan, Iraq, on the battlefield. I think the lesson that we have learned from this is there is no more price to pay. We can no longer nation build. Now we quick in and out, never happened, but and we need to watch. We need to watch and see how the militia do. Because I have a feeling that they're going to do very well and they're going to surprise us all. So that's my rant. You can find me on the Helium Radio Network. I would like to thank the Helium Radio Network. Eric, thank you very much. Jason, or Justin, sorry, Justin, not Jason. Thank you very much. This will also be posted on YouTube. You can find me on A Political Corner. And again, I just want to apologize to people who did help us and are now either dead or fearing for their lives, that there will be reprisals. This process shouldn't have taken as long as it has. If we aren't going to vet these guys quickly, we need to stop. We need to stop having companies. We really do. We need to stop putting private companies in. We need to have these private companies that know how to do some of these jobs, and we need to have them. Teach this certain skill, train the Afghani, train the next nation that we go into and decide that we're gonna nation build it. We need to train them on how to do the job. And we need to keep these companies out of here. Because if they're gonna go defunct and if they're not gonna fucking remember the people who fucking helped them out, then they can go fuck themselves too. Well, once again, I would like to thank the Helium Radio Network. I will link the show page on my YouTube when I make this description. I will also link my YouTube to the show page. You will find this show every week on Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Helium Radio Network. I can still do stuff outside of that network. So, because of how fast this happened and what happened, I want to do this episode. So, I think next week, I just might do the family, the introduction to family. I'll be more professional, and probably not. You guys know, everyone knows. I do take professional, but I also shove it too. I love you guys. You guys have a good one. I will see you next week for the YouTube viewers. Again, probably next week. I'm going to get more involved in this. I will be doing the audio and visual for the podcast. And honestly, this radio network has helped bring me back to, you know, what I need to do for the podcast. So I love you guys. I hope you guys the best. And get through this week, get to next week. I will be interviewing my family, but first of all, the introduction happens. And we'll see how badly I can plug and try to stretch about 15 minutes of the introduction about family, the importance, good side, the bad side, all in one little introduction. So that's what's going on with the show. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you to everyone who continues watching this, who has subscribed. I do like that you guys subscribe, that you guys like if you like. And I do understand and enjoy that you guys do like this content. I know it gets boring. The interviews can be very daunting. It can be very dry, and yes, I'm very professional-ish when it comes to interviews. I lose my fucking mind, I can tell you that. So look for more of this content. Will I interview? Yes, I will still interview. For the family series, I'll be interviewing my family. And you'll find out more next week when I introduce the series. Okay, I love you guys. Thank you.